Things you would never bring up in therapy, you could bring up here.
What is the mindset difference between dating and marriage?
So there's a difference between people you date and people you marry. And I'm only using marriage as a societal template of the evolution of a relationship. Not everyone wants to get married. I'm not married. I've been married, but I'm not currently married. But I am in a monogamous partnership. And yes, I am doing this video in the tent of my 2-year-old. She's at school. Don't tell her that I am jumping into her fort. She will have a shit fit. Okay, let's talk about the mindset, because people you date, your mindset is on exploration, right? And this is the biggest mistake I think people who date have, is that, one second. People who date, sorry. Shit. People who date, they're dating to find marriage, and that can be dangerous. Shut up, baby shark. If your mindset is turned on exploration when you are dating, then you are open, you are discovering, you're not having expectations on this leading to marriage. And so there's less pressure, right? And when there's less pressure, there's less judgment, there's more fun. So the dating mindset, when you are dating, you're looking to explore, and lock that shit on exploration. Now, if you are dating someone, you find someone that you are want to invest in, and now you're thinking about marriage, that's a whole nother thing, because marriage isn't about exploration. Marriage isn't about just attraction. Marriage is about asking yourself, can I build something with this person, right? Does this person have capacity? Let's say you want kids. Is this person the type of parent that you want to raise a child with, right? It's not just about sex or exploring stories and bodies. Now we're asking different questions. We're going deeper. Does this person fight without fighting? Right? Because with marriage, there's going to be conflict. There's going to be turbulence. So when it comes to dating, the mindset is exploration. When it comes to marriage, after you found someone that you want to invest in, now it's about capacity. It's about emotional intelligence. It's about building something with someone. When you're dating, don't think about marriage. Think about exploring. And then when you find someone who you feel that you want to invest in, who you deserve, then ask yourself, okay, now does this person have the ability to build something?
How do I know if I'm settling?
Common question I get a lot. How do I know if I'm settling? And here's the short form. You're settling if you're shrinking. You're settling if your soul whispers, there has to be more, and you keep silencing it. You're settling if you're staying because you're scared to start over, or because you're afraid to be alone. You're settling because settling looks like rationalization or compromising red flags. It sounds like, but they're a good person. It feels like slow erosion, not complete collapse. Settling doesn't always look like misery, and this is the point. Sometimes it just looks like numbness. Usually when people settle, they're settling because, like the frog in boiling water, they don't know until they know, right? And that takes a long time. No one signs up for a relationship and they don't say, 2 weeks in, okay, I'm just gonna settle. This happens over time, and that's why it's so hard to spot. Okay, just coming home from the gym. I am doing this plus 4 other most popular questions I get asked on my podcast, so look out for that.
How do I know if I'm better off single?
I think the way that you know that you're better off being single is if you investing in a relationship at wherever you're at in your life right now, at this point, is going to be damaging. So let's talk about damaging. the state that you're in, the way that you're maneuvering, the stuff that you are carrying, right? Your beliefs, your wiring, everything up into this point, wherever you're at in your life, if this is what you bring to the table in the relationship, then it's damaging, meaning it's unhealthy for the other person, it's unhealthy for you, it's unhealthy for the relationship. Your contribution, whatever you bring to the table in this state, is not going to be productive. It's not going to give you a great love experience, something new and different. Instead, it's going to cause you to repeat old patterns, right? It's going to cause you to tell your body that that's the way it is, hence forcing you to live in the past. And so ask yourself, and you got to be really honest with yourself, are you at a place in your life where what you're bringing to the table is not damaging, but it's actually healthy, productive, and it doesn't have to be, you know, all like, what is it, rainbows and unicorns and shit like that. Yes, loving someone, dating, there's work involved, it's hard and all of that. But overall, what you're bringing to the table, is that going to equal healthy? Is that going to equal rich growth soil? Is that going to equal evolution and growth, not just for you, but the person you choose to love? Is that space that you're building, or are you able to build a space that is safe and healthy, that is going to give you a new experience? So you drop into your body and you convince your body that this is new and that you are growing and that there is more and different. If you're not there, if you're not able to do that, then being single and acquiring the tools to execute that is what I would prescribe.
What are 3 signs I might be loving the wrong way?
All right, sign number 1 that you are not loving in a healthy way, possibly, is you have not examined the black box from your previous relationship that went down, right? You haven't went back, not to live there, but to take ownership and responsibility of your contribution to the crash. What did you learn about yourself and how you are in relationships from previous relationships? If you have not asked yourself that question and you have not gone there, chances are you're repeating old patterns, and a lot of those patterns may be unhealthy. Number 2, instead of asking yourself, how can I give myself a brand new love experience, which is going to start to eclipse the old and give you new definitions, because we pull from our definitions, and if we're not giving ourselves a new love experience, we're probably chasing old definitions of love. And if that's the case, again, repeating patterns instead of evolving, growing, and learning about oneself and creating new definitions about love, exploring, expanding, all of that doesn't happen if you are not doing everything you can to give yourself a brand new love experience. And the third thing is very simple. It's just defense. It's, if you find yourself always defensive, if you find yourself, whenever there's a argument or a conflict, the walls go up, you're defending, you're saying, well, here's what you did, or you're explaining why you're not wrong. And you know what? Sometimes we should be defensive, right? If that's our truth, we should defend it, sure. But if that's your go-to, if that's what you do all the time, you're definitely not growing. You're not setting yourself up for healthy. You are hiding. You are holding up a shield. You are not expanding. You are constricting, right? So defense is one of the biggest reasons in relationships why people don't grow.
What are 3 signs I should not be dating them?
Okay, I'm going to try this in ice, which will force me to sit in it for 3 minutes. 3 reasons or 3 signs that you might be dating the wrong person. Here we go. All right, sign number 1. If the chemistry if the chemistry is explosive, now I understand that you could lock eyes with someone and build an amazing relationship, and the chemistry is explosive and it's healthy, of course. But usually, if that chemistry, that lightning in the bottle is so strong that people are carrying vials of blood from each other and they're inseparable and they can't be away from each other, it could be what I call the sticky. It could be a unhealthy relationship dynamic that people are mistaking for chemistry, and that's what's drawing them together like glue, right? So that's one sign. Sign number two, if you guys never fight, and I think there's a misconception as a therapist, sometimes I'll hear clients bragging about how they never fight, and to me, it makes me question that relationship, because fights and conflict is necessary. Conflict sharpens people. It's not about how many times we fight, it's about how we fight. So if people are not fighting at all, my balls are like right here. If people are not fighting at all, then they may be avoiding, they may be pushing things down, they may be running away, right? Or they may be pretending, because they don't want to lose the relationship. So, oh my gosh. So how do people do this for 10 minutes? People like Joe Rogan, I guess you work up to it. So if you're not fighting, that's a sign that maybe this person isn't for you. And also I have a little A attached to this. It's also about how you fight. And if people are not fighting, if people are fighting in an unhealthy way, that's a huge sign that this may not work out, right? If people are assassinating character, if people are not taking ownership, people have to fight in a healthy way. This is foundational for any relationship to work. Okay, and number three, we're 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Number three is if the space created by the both of you is allowing both people to not grow individually, that's a sign. If the space created, the relationship is not allowing both people to grow individually, then that is a sign that you might not be dating this person.
How do I navigate online dating?
At 47, you've got what most swipe happy people don't, and that is clarity, scars, standards, stories. And online dating can feel like a dumpster fire. I get it. It's mostly because of how it's engineered, right? For dopamine, for your shot. So you guys start looking for meaning, not matches, right? And this is how you do it. Number one, use the apps. Don't let the apps use you. Set time limits. Be intentional. This isn't Costco. You're not sampling soulmates. Number two, lead with truth, not tactics. Forget trying to be impressive. Instead, be honest, be raw, be transparent, be specific. That's what cuts through the noise. I'm not here to pretend dating is easy. I just want one real connection built on something solid, right? That's the mindset. Curate, don't chase. You're not for everyone, and it's something you have to remember and accept. And that's actually your superpower, because swipe like someone who knows their worth, not someone begging for a spark. Or just get off the apps completely as soon as you can. Energy can't be felt through a profile, a real conversation, a phone call, a meetup. That's where truth lives, right? That's where the exchange is pure. And then also create other portals. The internet is only one path. Community hobbies, workshops, walking your dog with intention. And finally, number 7, jump into my single on purpose community, where it's not about swiping, but it's about connections, like-minded singles, all trying to connect to themselves first. So as far as meeting people, I would stick to micro communities instead of just throwing wide nets and internalizing when people don't swipe back.
How do I get my partner to have more sex with me?
This is actually a super common question. The way that you get more sex isn't by asking for more sex. I'm not saying that just because I'm a therapist. I'm saying that as someone who has many times in various relationships asked for more sex and it doesn't come. Because sex is not created that way. Sex is created through conditions. And by conditions, I don't mean soft lighting and romantic music. First condition is trust, you know? If there's trust that has been cracked in your relationship, I'm sorry that noise is annoying. Sometimes you gotta swing, you know? I'm not talking about swinging as in like sexual. Anyway, if there's no trust, that would be condition one. There's going to be no sex. If you ask for sex and you get the sex, it's also probably going to be lined with anger and resentment, and it's not going to be the kind of sex that you want. So you create the conditions, you create the space, you work on the shit that needs to be worked on, you build a new or better, safer relationship container. Focus on that, because your partner knows you need sex. Your partner knows you want sex. She's seen all the passive aggressive things that you've been doing, including the notes and making her feel guilty and talking about how your friends get a lot of sex and all that. So she also probably wants sex too. So create the condition, work on what's broken, work on the relationship, work on yourself, and sex will organically happen. And that's the kind of sex you want, right? You don't want the sex where it feels forced or it becomes an obligation. Sex should happen because two people want to have sex. You know, have you ever tried to kiss someone that you don't really want to kiss? What is that like? Life is too short for that. Do you want to have sex? Create space where sex is encouraged.